Good afternoon, Professor, and also the other classmate as well. So my name is Heng Sovanmonyneath. Today, it's my honor to also present about the topic of chapter 3, which is about research. So today I'm gonna strictly focus on two main foundation concepts, which is in chapter 3 is about the research design and also sampling strategy. So first, we will talk about the research design. So in this slide, you will see also what is the research design means, and also in the next slide, we're also focusing on sampling strategy. So first, research design is about overarching architectural footprints of a study that we also outlining by the Crosswell, which is the research in 2018. It forced us to choose a logical path based on our research objective that we are focusing on. So we must explicitly choose and also defend whether our study is a quantitative test on hypothesis or maybe a qualitative to explore concept human experiences, or maybe as a method to achieve a data triangulations. So as you might see in this research definition, research design is a master framework or operational footprint used to conduct a study and also answer specific research questions toward our objective. And it also justifies your research methodology or philosophy, direction, and dedicate how data will be structured. So that is overall definition of a research design. So in terms of research design itself, as I mentioned earlier, we are having three types of research design that all researchers must follow. First one is we call it as a quantitative design. Second one is a qualitative design, and also last but not least is about the two combination of the qualitative and quantitative design, which we call it as a mixed method design. So in quantitative design is the rooted in positivism that use as a numerical data, structure measurements, and also statistical analysis to test hypotheses or identifying trends. So that is more numerical structure based, or and also we use mostly SPS data statistical tool to analyze most of it. Besides of quantitative, we are talking about qualitative design. So which is rooted in interpretatism, used in text-based descriptive data that from open-ended sources to explore the human experiences and also social content. So it's more about human experience, human answer based, and also we script it and interpret it out. That is the two difference between the qualitative and quantitative design. But in some of the research, we also focusing on the mixed method design. So we just more into the combine both qualitative and quantitative tools to achieve the data result, which is more, we know it as a offset single method bias. So it's very critical, deep, and also understand both data and also human experiences. So that is an overall about research design. So let me focusing more about what is sampling strategy. So as you may see in here, the sampling strategy that we focus is about realistically collect data from an entire population. So we can mass design a research pipeline to extract our sample, or maybe if our design is qualitative, we relies on probability sampling, which is we know it as a sample random or maybe a stratified sampling to eliminate bias and also ensure our finding must be generalized numerical based or mathematical based toward the population. And if our design is more qualitative, so we will use non-probability sampling, such as like purposely sampling, or maybe we deliver example of a sampling site. So in definition here, the sampling strategy is the systematic process of a selection, representative subset, or we call it as a sample, from a larger group, a target population, to a participant in your study. So that is the general definition, but let's dive into more about what is sampling. So in sampling that I mentioned earlier, we have a target group of population, which is the entire population, maybe like the target of the whole university. And then we target toward more specific about our research topic, which we call it as a accessible population or reachable group. And then toward our sample, which is only the active participant of our research study, focus more on our question and also toward our vision and also our research objective. And also, we also have the type of sampling. In here, I focus on two main things, which is probability sampling, focus on quantitative focus, and non-probability sampling, which is focused on qualitative focus. So the probability sampling is give every individual in the population an equal non-zero chance of being selected. A common method including simple random, like you select random people without any uh, proper strategy. Second thing, we call it as a stratified sampling, which is a random or sampling is about uh, specific subgroups that you already targeting them, and also like a proportionally subgroups that you have in mind already. And last but not least, in probability sampling as well, we call it as a cluster sampling. So which cluster by it in each subgroup, and then you sampling them based on your own objective and question. So this approach is ensure statistically generalized based on what you need. So that is focus on quantitative focus. So on the other hand of non-probability sampling, which is qualitative focus, so you select participant intentionally based on the specific characteristic rather than a sample random chance. So you already know what kind of specific character that you need from your sample, and you go directly to that. So the common method including purposive sampling, targeting key information with specific expertise. We also have a snowball sampling. We also have another convenience sampling as well. So the goal of the non-probability sampling is deep and data focus, not only scale, but we focus on database. So that is the two main difference about sampling itself. So I think that is a overall about what is sampling all about. So you need to know what is your vision, your objective, your question before you go into your sampling types. So as conclusion to what is research design and also what is sampling strategy. So in academic research, the relationship between research design and also sampling strategy uh, form a absolute foundation of institution validity. So it conclude their role effectively. So as conclusion, once again, research design act as a macro level master footprint, establishing the theoretical framework, philosophy, alignment, and also structural approach, both qualitative or quantitative or mixed method that needed to a systematically